Yes, I do. I think that you have to understand that the world is crooked, it's not straight. That, again, read the Tao. I mean, I study it every day. I practice it, I live it. I feel like Lao Tzu is right there with me every day. And it's, my dear, it's hills and valleys. Einstein said that nothing happens until something moves. Mm-hmm. So everything in the universe, in the physical world, in the world of the 10,000 things, everything in the material world is movement. It's all movement, movement, movement. Even this chair is movement under a strong microscope. It's a dance, right? We all know that. We've had a physics class. All right? So that if everything is movement, then you are a subatomic particle in a cell called humanity. You are moving as well. Now, if the world looks like this, peaks, valleys, and you're in a valley, in the Tao it says that hidden in all misfortune is fortune, good fortune. Good fortune is always hidden in misfortune. So you're in a low point in your life. Whatever that might be, however you might process it, your low point might be somebody else's high point, but you're in a low point, and you're moving. The only thing that you can do if you're moving, and if you understand the cycles, and the Tao is a lot about the cyclical nature of the universe, ups and downs, the seasons. Everything in the physical world has its seasons. There's a time for everything, and everything in its time. And if you're in a valley, you have to move towards a peak. You have to. Good fortune is on its way if you're moving. Now, the same thing is true when you're in something called good fortune. You're at the peak, and you're moving. You're at the top. You're moving. When you're at the top and you're moving, you're going to come out of that. And you're going to look at that. Unless you are in something that fuses the peaks and the valleys. That's called oneness. That's called God consciousness. That's called God realization. But you are a human being who is working at living God realization, but you're in a physical universe, which has ups and downs, beginnings and ends. You know, dichotomies, opposites, they're always there. So that you must know that when you're in one of those places and you're in that state of bliss and so on, that the way you process it, you're going to find yourself down here. And then when you get down, you're going to go back up, and you begin to step outside of all of that. You know, in A Course in Miracles, there's a line that says, it speaks about the perfect oneness. A mind at war with itself. A mind at war with itself. Remembers not eternal gentleness. Eternal gentleness is where you came from. Eternal, that's how the Course defines it, eternal gentleness. But when you are in a dichotomy, meaning when you're in a physical body, when you are in a relationship, when there's always a duality, and there's always a duality in the physical world. As long as you are in that duality, you're going to experience those things. And rather than judging it and saying, oh, that wasn't it because it doesn't last, nothing lasts. Nothing lasts. There's not even a now. The whole thing is a joke. There's no now. You say I can't live in the now. Give me a now. As soon as you process a now, it becomes a then.
Right.
The second that you got it, it's gone. There's no now. There's no before, there's no after, there's actually only oneness, but we are in these physical bodies. And as a physical being in a material world, you're in a crooked universe. And nothing is straight. So know that when you're in that high place, that you will leave it, and then you'll come back to it until you die.
And then you go
or die while you're alive. Right. You can die while you're alive. And that's what we're all trying to do, have as much of that bliss as possible. But if you think that I'm in total state of God realization, look, there's not one great spiritual master who ever had 8 kids, all right, or 3, all right? And same with Buddha, and same with, all of them, all right? But when you have 8 children, when you have a physical world, there's ups and there's downs. They're there all the time. They come and they go. There's sadnesses, in one moment, and there's down. And when you can step outside of all of it and just be the observer to it, you never question any of it anymore. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And what I want to talk about and make happen in this program is to have people ask the question, what would it be like to live your life as a work of art? a work of art that's in progress. That is, your life becomes a masterpiece that is unfolding in every moment of your life. Instead of looking at it in terms of how much can I get or how far can I go, begin to see that, all right, yes, I am capable of lots and lots of wonderful things, and I have accumulated a lot of things, and I've achieved at a very high level, and I'm performing very well, but I want to take a different perspective on what my life is. And I want to begin to see my life as this fabulous work of art, that I can shape it and shade it and mold it into whatever it is that I think would be the absolute ideal for my contribution while I'm here on this planet, for the actual unfolding of my humanity. And if you were to ask anybody, what is it that you would really like to have said about yourself, whose life would you look at and say, this is what I would like to have been said about me? Or this is the masterpiece that I would like my life to be. Would it be about how much stuff did I get? Or how big was my bank account? Or how fast did I run? Or how quickly did I get there? Or who did I beat in the process? For some, it might be, and that might be very satisfying. But on a much higher level than that, the answer to that question, for me, is in looking at the lives of people like Christ, who was perhaps the most influential person ever to live on our planet, ever to be on our planet. Muhammad, Buddha, spiritual masters who were leaving a message about the power of the human mind. More recently in our times, people like Gandhi, who was able to turn around the whole fate of a nation that had been subservient to an empire, the British Empire, all through a nonviolence and all through debilitating or destructive, and to literally put them on a course of running their own lives. All through simplicity and all through a sense of beauty and appreciation. Or Mother Teresa, who labors in the streets of Calcutta, just serving and just giving, and knows what she is for, and knows that she's not against anything. You see, the irony, there's a real irony in all of this, and I'm not here to put down, in any sense of the word, success and performance and achievement. I'm a person who has a lot of all of those things in my life. But I've found that those are the kinds of things that begin to matter less and less. And they show up more and more in your life when you find yourself getting more tuned into something much beyond all of that. It's like a knowingness. It's like creating a sense of what I'm here for, how I'm going to live this life that I have, and doing it in the service of others, maintaining a sense of spirituality about yourself, maintaining a sense of compassion and caring and love and decency for everyone you meet, treating conflict and difficulties that come your way not as something for which you have to win or to master, but in fact as opportunities to see how you can transcend these things and not to have to use hatred and anger and bitterness and beating somebody else down in order to get to this higher place. It's very much a place of peace, and it doesn't mean like abdicating your role in life. It doesn't mean that you can no longer be an architect or that you can't be a salesman or whatever it is that you choose to do for a living. It's much beyond that. It's the way that you are, not what you're getting out of the way that you are. It's that wonderful work of art that your life becomes, that you begin to see that I can make my life unfold exactly the way the universe unfolds, with a real sense of perfection and harmony and peace for myself. And the more I do that, the paradox is that all of the things that I chased after so hard and so diligently show up in your life just the right amounts. It's an attitude of knowing, of surrendering, not to anyone, but surrendering from the things that most of us are pursuing all of our lives, where we get on that stress-filled, fast pace. I have to achieve, I have to perform, I have to succeed, I have to become number one, I have to beat everybody else in order to self. You begin to develop an inner sense of harmony, that those kinds of things are very low-level determiners of what kind of a human being you're going to be.